This episode just started off so tense and it made all of us uncomfortable. Camilo is so pissed when he saw Chicle there, and it was so bad that Vivi was trying to calm him down, but he was just not having it. Even Mary Peace was like, yo, we should chill out. And Camilo was like, don't try me, I'll arrest your ass. Like, he went crazy. But Chicle wasn't backing down too. He was like, I'm gonna shoot your ass if you continue. To the point where Mary Peace had to be like, both of y'all need to calm down. This should be a happy moment. Of course, Chicle, being the bigger man, literally the bigger man, chose to walk away. He said, this isn't about me, it's about Vivi and her family, so I'm just gonna step out. Poor Vivi was so embarrassed by Camilo, and Camilo just kept going and yelling at her. And Octavio was like, hell no, you're not gonna talk to my daughter like that. And Beatrice chimed in too. She was like, you will not speak to my daughter that way in front of us. It really sucks because Camilo's BS ruined such a happy moment. Later, Vivi posted this picture on her Instagram of her whole family, and she even put a Bertha. Oh my god, that was so cute. So Vivi and Camilo go back home, and Vivi is talking about how she was so embarrassed by Camilo's action. And Camilo's just being downright nasty. And Camilo started yelling at her. He was like, I'm your husband, and you do what I tell you to do. And Vivi stood up for herself, and she was like, I am not your property. And the psycho jumped out of Camilo. He was like, go to your room, and you are not to eat or drink anything until I come back the next day. Even Bertha was like, yo, Camilo, you need to chill, dog. And then he started yelling at Bertha. He was like, don't get involved. So poor Bertha couldn't do anything at this point. And Vivi, tired of all this crap, was like, you cannot force me to do something that I don't want to do. And this shook me to the core. Because Camilo was already evil, but he just went up in his level of evil. Because he whipped out the Glock, and he was like, I sure can. He literally threatened Vivi. And his crazy ass was like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm gonna destroy your face so that you could never post again. Like, he is just out of it. Like, Chicle needs to take care of this dude. I need a break from this, y'all. So onto some lighter stuff. So Rocky and Joanna are making out now that they're together and all, and Rocky's like, let's go back to your place. And Joanna isn't really about that whole life, but never mind, she was, and I'm here for it. Yes, girl, let the hoe in you jump out, because I am here for this couple. The next day, freaking Josiane goes to Grandmama Evelina for help. And she's like, I need you to help me flee and go to Espiritu Santo. I can't stand Grandmama Evelina because she is covering up for Josiane, and she knows that she shouldn't. So Grandma Evelina gets Chicle involved, and Chicle is supposedly going to take her to Espiritu Santo. And Josiane once again confesses to the crime. She was like, yeah, I shot Teo, but he didn't die, so I need to flee now. And Chicle was like, how do you do that dude so dirty? He trusted you. And Grandma Evelina was like, listen, Chicle, you out of all people can't be judging anybody. And she kind of did have a point. Like, she's not wrong. She's not right, but she's not wrong either. But Josiane didn't look convinced that Chicle was going to help her. I hope Chicle doesn't fall for this. Because later, William and Josiane were talking. And Josiane is convinced that Teo isn't going to do anything. She's like, he's not going to put me in jail. Over at the bakery, Mary Peace goes and visits Fabiana. And Fabiana is so apprehensive right off the bat. Mary Peace goes on good faith and she's like, listen, we're family now. We shouldn't be fighting. But Fabiana hate her ass isn't having any of it. And poor Mary Peace is trying to talk to Fabiana, who has a stone for a heart, about the power of love and family. But Fabiana don't care, her greedy ass. And Mary Peace was like, listen, I'm going to find the plot documents eventually, and this factory's going to go back to me, so I come with a peace offering, let's work the factory together. And Fabiana was like, never, you just want to steal my factory. Fabiana's stupid ass had an opportunity to take at least something, and now because of this stupid decision she just made, she's going to end up with nothing, because Mary Peace is going to take it all. As she should. And Mary Peace tries one last-ditch effort to talk to Fabiana's heart, and she's like, I really loved you when you were a child. And it seems like it's working, because Fabiana's starting to break up and cry. Mary Peace told her how they used to play together and sing as a child, and she told Fabiana that she remembers her. And Fabiana says that she remembers her too, and she remembers everything that happened. I low-key feel bad for Fabiana, because I remember the day when she saw Vivi on the TV. Like, Fabiana was exhausted from that harsh life at the convent. Like, we knew she didn't belong there. She ended up there because of some bad things that happened, and I always felt bad and hoped that she would get better. But unfortunately, Fabiana ruined all of that with her bad decisions. Mary Peace tried to come up with a solution for both of them. After all, Mary Peace said they were family, and she didn't want any problems with her. And Fabiana should have taken it, but she didn't. She downplayed the importance of family. And she went back to being her ambitious self, and she started yelling at Mary Peace that she only wanted her factory. Like, girl, that's Mary Peace's factory. And Mary Peace was once again caught off guard. She was like, no, we're family. I care about you. But Fabiana wasn't hearing it, and she kicked Mary Peace out of her factory. And Mary Peace said something so interesting. She was like, what is both wrong with you and Josiane? Because both of you have nothing in their heart. And I'm going to tell y'all what's wrong with Josiane and this Grinch. It's ambition. All they care about is money. That's all. They literally shut their heart to love and all that good stuff. But when you make those kind of decisions, it comes to consequences. Mary Peace offered a peace offering, and she didn't take it. So Mary Peace said, fine, I'm rescinding my peace offering. That factory is going to be mine. Fabiana could have chosen to open up her heart and accept her family, but instead she chose money. So goodbye, girl, you get nothing. Elsewhere, Jordana seems to be the only competent detective because she noticed that there was something strange with Camilo. And really talking about, oh, I had some mild fights with my wife, nothing all. She absolutely loves me. And Jordana wasn't buying that. Girl, start investigating him. Then we cut to Camilo's apartment, where Berta is trying to figure out if she should break Vivi out. And Vivi was like, no, it's not even worth it. Like, she'll just deal with it. Like, Camilo is on some crazy stuff, and poor Vivi and Berta need to figure something out. Then Mary Peace shows up at the police station, and she asks Camilo to let her see Regis. So we get our first glimpse of Regis in jail. And Regis and Mary Peace reunite. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I stand them so hard. Listen, Regis is a changed man. So Mary Peace is catching up on the tea with Regis, and Mary Peace gets right to the point. She's like, I know you're the one who gave me the money. And Regis tried to play it off. He was like, no, that wasn't me at all. You're mistaken. And Mary P was like, listen, I just spoke to Teo's mom, and his ass is broke. So I know damn well that money came from you. Because remember, Regis offered her the money right before Teo. And then Mary Peace actually opened up to Regis. She told Regis about the damage that he caused her when he cheated on her. And Regis was so full of shame hearing this that he couldn't even look at her. He was basically like, I don't even deserve you. And he's right. But Mary Peace is such a wonderful person who just doesn't hold grudges. And she was like, but I recognize that you have made such a tremendous effort to change. And she said, I know you're not the same person that you were before. And like Regis's face just lit up. He was so happy that she recognized that. And Mary Peace was like, listen, I'm gonna help you get out of here. Where Jordana gets noticed that Teo can talk. And she runs to see him. And she notices that Camilo's just chilling. And she's like, boy, you gonna come to this case? Because it's kind of important. And Camilo's like, nah, I need to go home early. And Jordana once again gave him the side eye. Jordana, please start investigating this mofo. And in our last scene, Jordana finally talks to Teo. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not think that Teo was gonna snitch, but my boy Teo finally snapped, and he snitched it all. He was like, there's a photo that incriminates Josiane of killing Gardel. And Jordana was like, you better give me the evidence, because I'm about to arrest this bitch. And Teo tells her about the secret phone that he backed up the photo on, and he's like, I can get the evidence for you. So Jordana is ready to move on Josiane. And man, Teo finally admitted everything. He was like, it was Josiane. She's the one who attacked him, and she's the one who attacked Teo as well. He just snitched on her, and it was about time. The simping needed to stop at some point. This was easily one of the most frustrating and annoying episodes in this show because everyone was either acting stupid or just being a villano. But the good thing is that it focused around Jordana. So we start with Teo snitching to Jordana. And Jordana's like, where that plot phone at? Because I'm gonna go get it because we're trying to arrest Josiane. And Teo kept snitching. He was like, Kim can get it for you. So Jordana pays Kim a visit. And she's like, girl, you better show me where that plot phone is. And Kim was being apprehensive at first. And she was like, you know, I ain't trying to have Jordana look through my Percocets and stuff. Like, girl, you hiding them drugs? Like, what is this mess? But thankfully, we didn't waste time because Jordana went right to the phone and got it. Even Kim was like, I'm low-key curious as to what's on the phone. But tell me why Camilo and Jordana couldn't find the damn picture. Like, y'all can't have an intern scroll all day through the damn photos? So they went to see Teo at the hospital. Hopefully he can show them the photo. But why was he being so dramatic? Okay, this was Teo. And then Jordana's like, I got the phone. And he was like this. Anyways, Teo unlocks the plot phone for them. And they show the picture, and finally there's the evidence. And Jordana's like, all right, it's time to arrest this bitch. Back at jail, Mary Peace and Regis are having a swell time. Mary Peace is talking about I'm doing TV commercials, I'm getting deals left and right. Like, Mary Peace really became a digital influencer too. And Regis is so happy just hearing this, like he's swooning. And I stand them so much. Mary Peace was like, I'm gonna help you get out of here. So Camilo takes a break and shows up back home. And our girl Berta was like, damn homie, like you did too much. You really locked up Vivi without letting her eat anything. And Camilo talking about I brought her McDonald's. Like, boy, if you don't have several seats. Bruh, this next scene pissed me off so much. Because it's the one person I hate the most in this show. Grandmama Evelina showed up to ask Mano Santa for some money. For Josiane! Her greedy ass and her gaslighting ass talking about your family. And she threw in Mano Santa's face that he was a stepchild and that the Ramirez family basically took care of him. And Mano Santa was like, listen, I'm very grateful, but I'm broke myself. Like, Agno's a rich one, not me. And she really got offended. Mind you, this money is for Josiane. And she's like, well, he has a bunch of expensive stuff here. You can sell some of it. And when Mano Santa refused, she got up in his face and she was like, you will find that money. Like, ma'am, you need to sit down. And at that point, Agno chimed in and he was like, listen, I heard the whole conversation. And he thanked Mano Santa for being loyal and not stealing from him. And he was like, y'all want money? Here you go. He just threw it at them. And Grandmama Evelina, greedy ass, dove for that money. Like, damn, girl. And her greedy ass just got up and left. This old witch needs some jail time and some punishments because she's doing so many wrong things. And then later, her and Chicle are having a talk about this whole thing about helping Josiane. And she's still talking about, well, she's Ramirez, she's family, so you have to help her no matter what. Like, no, girl, that's not how it... And then Chicle felt pressured and he was like, I guess I'll just go along. But he's not off the hook either. And he was like, are you going to go see Don Tero? Like, do you actually love him? And she revealed her real motives. She was like, yeah, I love him. More importantly, she wants someone to take care of her. And I'm so annoyed at Chicle because Vivi is literally starving to death. She hasn't eaten in a week at this point over him. And he's pulling the nonsense of helping Josiane and committing more crimes. Back at the hospital, Jordana's like, well, we're kind of on our own because the judge didn't think that there was enough evidence to convict Josiane. Like, dude, you legit had a picture of her pushing somebody. But I can't. Anyway, Tail's like, I guess I'm screwed. And Jordana's like, no, we going to arrest her. Jordana goes back to the office and thinks of a way to arrest Josiane. But why is the chief talking about, girl, you doing too much, you going above and beyond? Like, it seems like she's the only one that's actually doing her job. How dare he imply that she's being unprofessional? I mean, she is, but she isn't at the same time. As if Grandmama Evelina hasn't been nasty enough this episode, we go to this scene of her gaslighting Don Antero. He's remembering him and Marlene buying dresses together that he loved. And she's like, no, we never did that. You're probably thinking of a long lost memory from a long time ago. Like, poor Don Antero. She keeps gaslighting him and confusing him and making him worse. He would have been had his memory back if it wasn't for her. I am so upset that Chicle is helping out Josiane. Like, after all the crap that he went through, after all the crap to get away from trouble, he's legit helping this nasty person. Anyway, he calls freaking Vivi's phone. And he finds out that Camilo freaking took her phones. Now he's all concerned. He calls Beatrice to go check on her. And Beatrice's like, I guess we'll have to go visit Vivi now. Now, I am usually a Beatrice stan. She has done nothing wrong. But man, did she screw up this episode. Over at Camilo's apartment, Camilo's just threatening Vivi because that's his normal thing to do now. And Berta announces that Beatrice is there to visit Vivi. And freaking Camilo's like, you better not say anything. So Beatrice and Jose Elio show up. And my poor girl, Vivi, this is the first time she ate in a whole week, and she was scarfing down that food. Beatrice was like, girl, you alright? Like, you look extra ill. Like, there's something wrong with you. She's like, you need a hospital. And then Camilo gets in her face, and he's like, stay out of our business, and you shouldn't be with that dude. He's too young for you. He probably just wants your money. Like, Camilo, where did this come from? And Beatrice got ultra pissed. She was like, nah, fam, you're not gonna talk to me like that. And she was so angry. And then Jose Elio jumped in. And Beatrice is like, listen, I love you, girl, but I'm not gonna be disrespected like that. And she walked away. And Vivi's like, well, I guess I'm screwed. And Vivi is left alone with Camilo. Like, Beatrice, you saw the shape she's in. How did you just walk away because he offended you? And what's worse is that Beatrice legit went back home and called Chicle talking about, oh, there's nothing wrong with her. She looks a little pale because of a new diet she's doing. This is my problem with this Guedes family. They all love to pretend like nothing is wrong. And they love to lie when things are wrong. Like, it's so toxic. Anyway, Jordana keeps being the heroine of this episode because she finally got a court order to go arrest Josiane. She's like, we gotta hurry. And she has every right to be in a hurry because William the Hacker and Josiane are waiting for Chicle to flee. But William the Hacker's acting mad weird. He's like, in case we get separated or something happens to me, I'm gonna give you a secret number of where you can reach. And Josiane's like, okay, where is this coming from? This is weird. So he takes this clock, which is not a plot clock, and he writes a secret number on the back of it. We all know damn well this is foreshadowing. And William's like, you probably won't need this, but just in case. And Josiane's like, all right, that's super weird. Back at Camille's apartment, his new favorite pastime is harassing Vivi. Talking about, if you keep acting like this, I'm gonna starve you for another week. This man needs to be stopped. Vivi just looks like she just wants to die, the poor thing. And not even like the bitch. Anyway, Jordana shows up with the court order to go arrest Josiane. She's like, boy, we gotta move quick because that bitch about to go. And then Camilo really aggressively says bye to Vivi. But Jordana ain't stupid because she peeped the whole team. She was even like, Vivi, are you okay, girl? Because you looking extra ill. And Camilo was extra quick to answer for her. But Jordana wasn't buying it. She's been giving him the side eye for some time now. And I'm sure she saw how miserable Vivi looked. Like, Jordana, girl, you're our only hope. Investigate this mofo. And damn, Chicle, you so disappointing because you really were about to help this Wen. Thankfully, the police beat him to it. Jordana and Camilo show up at Josiane's apartment. And her dumbass think it's William talking about, oh, you ready? And Camilo was like, no, girl, it's us, bitch. We gonna arrest your ass. And Jordana's like, girl, we got you good. You going to jail now. And we are left with Josiane's reaction. This annoying episode was so worth it just for this moment. You going to jail now, girl? So we start this episode with Josiane going to jail. Yo, I cannot with this face that Chicle made. He was like, well, bitch, you're on your own. And it was so satisfying seeing her take these pictures. The one selfie that she definitely needs to take. Chicle gets back home and Grandma Evelina wants a tea. And Chicle's like, that girl is gone. She's done for. Like, she in jail now. And Grandma Evelina was like, crap, I am so in trouble now. This old wench needs to join Josiane in jail too because she's doing too much at this point. And she still insists on helping Josiane because she's family. Anyway, she goes and tells Amadeo that Josiane's in jail. And she's still trying to beat around the bush. She's like, oh, I don't know what she did. And Chicle was like, girl, you seriously doing this right now? Like, just spill the truth. And she was like, fine. Josiane tried to kill a whole bunch of dudes. And Amadeo was like, wait, what? She was like, yeah. And she tried to kill Teo too. Amadeo was bamboozled, shocked. But were you, Amadeo? Because you know Josiane's trash. Over at the police station, Camilo messy ass is tipping off a reporter. He's like, you better get your ass here because I got Josiane. And my dude teleported over to the police station just in time to catch Josiane. And she was extra pissed. She was like, don't take pictures of me. So Amadeo pays Josiane a visit. And he really talking about where did I go wrong as a parent. First of all, Amadeo, you don't love your kids. And Josiane basically said the same thing. She was like, why are you trying to play dad now? And Amadeo really was like, listen, I understand you completely. The whole family's a bunch of killers. Like, I get it, girl. She was like, wait, you do? Like, what is this? But then that led her to just start confessing everything. She was like, fine, here's what happened. And Amadeo was like, damn, you try to kill Teo too? Like, what's wrong with you? And she was like, I don't need this judgment right now, all right? And Amadeo was like, don't worry, I'm gonna protect you, I'm gonna represent you in court. And she was like, oh my God, I needed your help so much. She's like, I can't go to jail. And Amadeo was like, listen, girl, your whole tears don't move me, okay? I don't love none of my kids, so this ain't working for me. That photographer dude was working overtime because he went to take a picture of Teo. And the news about Josiane just spread like wildfire. The first one who saw it was Kim. She was like, Marcel, you gotta come see this tea. And here's Josiane. That wild ass photo of her. They were shook. They were like, damn, she extra crazy. And Kim made an observation on the poetic justice that Josiane got. She was like, Josiane always wanted to be famous, and she finally got it, just not in the way that she thought she would. Because Josiane was everywhere. Even Rocky and Joanna saw it, and they were like, alright, we have to tell Mary Peace. Agno messy ass went to Lyra's house to show them the same article. Like, this mess was everywhere. So the next day, Joanna and Rocky go and try to tell Mary Peace. And Mary Peace notices they're being super weird. She's like, y'all up to something. And they're like trying to just tell her they know it's gonna break her heart. And Amadeo shows up and he's like, by the way, Josiane's in jail for murder. And Mary Peace she's like, what? And le da el patatus. She fainted. Poor Mary Peace, girl was knocked out from the shock. And poor Mary Peace was such a mess after hearing it. She woke up and she was still lost. She was like, where did I go wrong as a mother? I mean, we all know where, but that's the point. She was pissed. She was like, I want to go talk to Josiane. I want to ask her what's wrong with her. She was like, that was like my little girl. Like, what happened? And she was just all over the place. She literally was in so much shock and was just doing too much. She literally ended up in the hospital. Back at the police station, now that Josiane is finally in jail, Regis finally got out. He's just shocked to hear that it was Josiane, and he insists on seeing Mary Peace. Camilo continues being messy and tells the reporter about the plot photo. And my dude was like, I am right on it. And he immediately puts up the story about the plot photo that Fabiana took. And more poetic justice gets handed out because now Fabiana knows her ass is in trouble. She's like, damn it, like if they find out I did this, then I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Even Marcio was like, why are you so concerned? You never liked the bitch. And her ass ran to see Josiane, talking about some, I hope you're doing well. Fabiana really got jokes. She said, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to release this hatred from your heart that you have for me. Like, girl, what? And Josiane really laughed off the audacity that Fabiana had. She was like, listen, you took all my money, so now I'm taking you down. And Fabiana was like, well, I guess I'm screwed now. That face she made. Elsewhere, Regis gets back to find like his whole family transformed. I gotta give it to all of them. Like, they really came a long way from the start. They were literally all freeloaders, and now they're all different, except for Kastia's little homophobic hater ass. But even old lady Gladys got a job. Like, they really came a long way. Elsewhere, Grandmama Evelina knew she was in trouble, so she had to go confess to Donatello what she did. And Donatello was like, wait, you literally covered up a murder? What's wrong with you? I heard she really played dumb. She was like, I mistook the dates and times, and it was like my granddaughter. No, you deserve jail, lady. Elsewhere, Vivi is planning with Octavio how to get Chicle out of the country, because Vivi realized that if she can remove Chicle from the equation, then Camilo can't hold her hostage anymore. But my problem is that Vivi's doing all this, and Chicle's just off to some stupidity. He needs to get himself checked. Anyways, Berta tries to give him some alone time, and she pretends to go buy something. And she takes Vivi's credit card, and she said that her PIN was 232323, which was so weird of a detail that I feel like it's going to be important down the road. Back at Marlene's place, Joanna's taking Mary Peace. But can we talk about how Grandma Evelina was too busy covering her own ass for the crimes she committed instead of watching her daughter? Because now she finally gets there, and she has the nerve to kick out Joanna, talking about some, you're not family, you're not needed here. Like, ma'am, you weren't even here when your daughter heard the news, so get out of my face for that one. And Marlene jumped in and she was like, listen, you need to leave this girl alone, and she's a nurse, so she knows what she's doing, so you need to stay out. Meanwhile, poor Mary Peace is still in a state of shock, agonizing about what Josiane did. Elsewhere, clown-ass Agno goes and visits Amadeo, talking about, can you give me a visit to Josiane? And rightfully so, Amadeo was like, you up in these crimes too? Like, this is extra suspicious. And Agno really talking about some, no, I'm clean, I'm not doing anything bad, it's just personal stuff, like, I cannot stand this man. And stupid ass Amadeo went along with it. He really gave him a visit. So Josiana's like, Agno, what are you doing here? We haven't even been in the same scene like more than twice. And Agno's greedy ass talking about some, I heard that you hated Fabiana. Well, I hate her too. Agno, you do not team up with the Villanos at the very, very end, unless you want to catch that burning car. Anyways, Josiane was like, yes, I too don't like Fabiana. What is this about? Here's why I can't stand Agno, because his greedy ass never changed. He never became a better person. Let's not forget that he was scamming his family at the start of the show and got out scammed by Fabiana, and that's why he's all pissed now. But that was his karma. He needs to own up to the crap that he did. And yet he doesn't. And now he's here, teaming up with the main freaking Villana. But anyway, he's like, listen, you hate Fabiana, I hate Fabiana too, because I'm planning a revenge on her. And Josiane was like, say less. She's like, because I too am interested in getting revenge on Fabiana. These Villanos cannot be teaming up this late in the game, y'all. This was one of the most annoying episodes in this entire show because it was all about this mofo right here. Listen, Agno is such an annoying character because he's a total piece of trash, yet he acts like he isn't. So we start with him talking to Josiane to find out how they're going to take down Fabiana. And Josiane is going in guns blazing. She's like, I'm an accuser of extortion. And Agno's like, that's not really gonna do anything. Like, you're a criminal. Like, no one's gonna care. And Josiane's like, fine, I got a hacker friend that can do some hacking for us. And Agno's like, yes, this is it. We're gonna steal all her money and her where it hurts the most. But Josiane went a step further and told Agno about the plot document, which sucks because his greedy ass is gonna try to make money off the missing plot document. Elsewhere, poor Mary Peace is just finally starting to come to her senses. And Joanna is so kindly tending to Mary Peace. And Mary Peace tells Joanna that she feels like her grandmother is trying to tell her something. So then Amadeo clown ass gets there and Mary Peace is like, alright, tell me everything. Did Josiane actually do it? And Amadeo's like, yup, she killed a whole bunch of dudes, including Teo. And poor Mary Peace was just heartbroken at the realization. And Mary Peace is like, all that good schooling for nothing, giving her a good life, it was all for nothing. And Mary Peace just is feeling a lot of futility at the efforts that she put into raising a better daughter. Because as Amadeo said, it's like, listen, she's still a Mateo, so that blood runs inside of her. And even Amadeo was like, listen, I'm conflicted because I want to do justice, but that's also my daughter. And as hurt as Mary Peace by all this, she was like, listen, you have to do the right thing and you have to seek justice, even if it's your own daughter. But clown-ass Amadeo came out of some sideways BS talking about, well, we do come from families of a bunch of killers. And Mary Peace was like, boy, what? And then Amadeo referenced that toxic family first mentality that everyone here uses as an excuse. He was really on some nonsense talking about, oh, well, I can't judge Josiane for what she did because that would be like judging my entire family for what they did. It's like, listen, family first is very different from enabling your family to do bad things. Those are very, very separate things. And I don't know why these people don't get it. And Mary Peace was giving him deep side eye. And this is honestly why I always stand her with Regis instead of her with Amadeo. Because Regis learned to be a better man. Amadeo's still on this BS. He really talking about some, I'm going to ask Teo not to press charges after she tried to murder him. But boy, Teo moved on real quick. Let me tell you. He really here talking about some, I don't know how I'm going to recover from this. I don't know if I'll ever be able to love again. And my girl Jordana wasted no time. She was like, not all women are like Josiane. And Teo was like, wait, are you hitting on me? And our girl Jordana shot her shot. And boy, for all the freaking snipping that Teo did, he moved so fast. It was 0.202 seconds. And he moved on so fast. Like, Teo, what was all this nonsense for if you're just going to pull this BS? But I'm completely okay with this, though. Over at Camilo's crazy-ass apartment, Camilo getting mad at Vivi because she went out and bought some chocolate. He really talking about, is this my Valentine's Day present? And Vivi was like, boy, you know damn well them chocolates are for me and not for you. And Camilo crazy-ass snatched her bag. And he legit crumpled up all her credit cards like a psycho. Vivi's like, boy, you was crazy. And Camilo on some crazy controller boyfriend vibes, talking about some from now on, if you have to make a purchase, you're gonna ask me. It's like, boy, you doing too much. Over at the Shady Casino, Regis shows up to pay his debt. And the Shady Casino dude is like, Regis, why didn't you play some more? You might get more money out of it. And Regis was like, bruh, I am a changed man. Just take your money. And the Shady Casino dude was shook. He was like, damn, Regis, you really said no. You a changed man for real. And Regis was like, listen, I'm a changed man. It's called character development. Agno annoying us shows up at Mary Peace's place, and Amadeo's not happy to see him at all. And I don't blame him because I'm not either. But Mary Peace like, let me listen to what this guy has to say. So he's like, listen, Fabiana's evil. She's mean to everybody. I have a problem with her. Mary Peace like, damn, Fabiana, everybody hate her ass. She extra rude to everybody, even me. And greedy as Agno gets to the point. He's like, listen, I know about the plot document. And you know what this mofo said? He's like, if I find that plot document for you, what's in it for me? Like, sir. And even Mary Peace called him out on his crap. She was like, bruh, you really even haven't found the damn thing and you're already asking for money? And he really talking about some, I'm just trying to help. This is Agno at his core. He's just freaking greedy. That's why I can't stand it. And he better catch some punishment. But also Agno is catty as hell because he wasted no time to rub it in Fabiana's face. As usual, they being extra fake. And Agno wasted no time threatening Fabiana. He was like, you're going down. I'm going to take everything. And Fabiana reminded him. She was like, why are you mad? You were the one scamming. You got caught scamming. You got played out. Like, listen, you lost, my dude. Once again, my problem with Agno is that he did the wrong thing and he never caught karma for it. Not that Fabiana was any better though. Honestly, they both the same type of trash. And Agno was extra catty for this visit because all he did was go threaten Fabiana and also tip her off. So he immediately goes and asks Mano Santa about the plot document. And he still feels really bad because his stupidity is what essentially made this whole problem for Mary Peace. Elsewhere, the middle school Scooby-Doo gang is ready to go catch a pedophile, but at least Carlitos got some sense in him because he went and snitched to Amadeo. And he was like, have y'all lost the damn mind? We gotta get Agno quick. So the kids go and meet the pedophile, but why are they extra obvious though? Anyway, they send the little girl over to meet him. And you know, they're trying to play him again. And Agno wasted. And Cassia busted out, talking about some, you going to jail now. I'm not gonna lie, I was low-key here for them kids giving him an ass whooping. I really thought they were gonna jump him. But why did I expect anything from this flop? Because her plan was to have Merlin chase after him when he ran away? They really didn't have a damn plan. And Merlin, dumbass, got caught by the pedophile. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Y'all really didn't come up with a plan? You weren't like, all right, you go there, we're gonna circle him. You know, we start kicking, like we start doing something. Like, y'all really had no sense. Thank God Agno and Mano Santa showed up. Not that they were any better. Anyways, the freaking pedophile tries to take Merlin. And I wouldn't be mad if he did. And I'm not gonna lie, I was hoping to see some of Mano Santa's skills because they said that he has the best shot out of all the freaking Ramirez's, and yet he didn't do anything. So Mano Santa and the pedo get into a freaking fist fight with a knife, and Mano Santa gets injured, but he shoots the pedo. Well, that's the end of him. But poor Mano Santa's injured. I honestly expected a lot more from this scene. This is a mess. And for our last scene, at this point, Josiane is like, who is it today? Who gonna visit me now? And boy was Josiane shook when she saw that it was Mary P. Oddly enough though, Josiane didn't look super bitchy when she saw her. And we are left with Mary Peace's reaction. I really want to see how this conversation is going to go down.